And we welcome you to Truist Field, home of the Deacons of Wake Forest, looking for their first victory of the season. Wake Forest will take on the fighting Camels of Campbell from the Big South. We welcome you to ACC Network Football, presented by Dr. Pepper. Mike Morgan, it is great to be with you. Lauren Sisler on the sideline, and joining us in the booth, you know him from studio fame. He's the former national champion offensive lineman for Clemson, Eric McLean. E-Mac, welcome aboard.
Thank you, man. It's great to be here. Just happy to be calling this game with you, brother.
No question about that. No question that this schedule for just about every team in America has taken a turn this year, and that schedule shuffle no different for Wake Forest. They normally ease into things. A lot of FCS, a lot of lower type of opponents like an Old Dominion, like a Villanova, but not so much this year, E-Mac.
Yeah, not this year at all. You know, Wake Forest actually opening with the #1 team in the country. When we talked to their coaches, they said, we're a developmental program. We like to ease into the season. Well, this year, not so fast. You got the Tigers, #1 first game up.
Normally a pair of 9s won't win you a whole lot of money in Las Vegas, but for the Deacons, it's been a pretty good hand so far.
It absolutely has. And you look at the offensive side of the ball first. Kenneth Walker has been so special. He's an electric playmaker, a guy that is very shifty and can get you a lot of big plays, but he's put on some good weight. He can hammer it up in the inside and really has been explosive for these guys. Interested to see if he gets involved in the passing game. Now, Boogie Basham, this is my guy, one of my favorite players in all of college football. He plays defensive end for Wake Forest. I think he can move around and really play anywhere on the defensive line. You see 20 consecutive games with a tackle for loss. He's slippery, and he has great hand-fighting ability. It's going to be fun to watch all night.
I mentioned it was a scheduled shuffle for Wake Forest. Campbell takes it to a whole other level. Remember, they're in the FCS. Most FCS schools are playing in the spring. Campbell said, no, we're going to play 4 games in the fall, that's it, and we're going to take on all comers.
You know, and I love that they're doing that. If you think of playing this and then spring ball and then a season, really tough. So love what Coach Minter did here.
And for more on that decision and Campbell's overall philosophy, let's say hello to Lauren Sisler.
Hey guys, what's going on? You know, Mike Minter took a very unique approach to this season by scheduling 4 FBS teams. He said, go big or go home, right? He wanted the schedule to be tough. He puts his players on a national stage. It is great for recruiting, and it's like preparing them for what it would be like to make a run through the FCS playoffs. 4 tough weeks, 4 tough opponents. So tonight is like the championship game with the best of the best on the other side of the football. That is what Minter calls preparing like champions.
And of course, Campbell located in the southeastern part of North Carolina, a little less than an hour away from Raleigh. And Mike Minter, a name very familiar to Carolina Panther fans, one of the top defensive players in the history of that proud franchise. Mike Minter doing a great job in a short amount of time, now in his 8th year with the Campbell program. Campbell won the toss, electing to receive. It'll be Malik Great, the Wake Forest transfer, #6, back to receive the kick. Jack Crane handling kickoff duties for the Deacons. Again, about 2,200 fans allowed here, and the ones that were allowed certainly taking advantage on a brisk night in Winston-Salem. Friday Night Lights is underway. And the kick will sail into the end zone. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 25 for Campbell. Haj Malik Williams is the starting quarterback. He is a 6-foot sophomore out of Atlanta, Georgia. Not your typical FCS guy. This guy's a pure athlete.
He absolutely is. This is a guy you want to pay attention to all game long. He's tremendous with his legs, but the coach said, hey, we don't have a lot of designed runs for him. What we do is like for him to go out and create.
Barr is the lone tailback on 1st down and 10. This is the first ever opponent against a Power 5 school for Campbell. And they'll go to the ground on 1st down, and a solid pickup by Barr. Ja'Cory Johns on the stop for Wake Forest.
This is a big offensive line, Mike. They're going to want to run the ball and run the ball often. With them getting this early success right about 5-6 yards on the first play, you got to build confidence early.
One thing about Campbell as well that kind of stands out, that's a mammoth offensive line.
Huge.
They are not undersized. On 2nd and 4 out of the shotgun. Williams looks to throw, finds a man in the flat, and out of bounds, tiptoeing is Bryant Barr, the back, and he'll have first down yardage. Jaquez Williams escorts him out of bounds.
And if you're Campbell here, this is what you want to do with your quarterback. Get him feeling good, get him confident, throw some quick passes. You see number 8 there in man coverage. Just get him some easy throws. Get his arm loose. Get your confidence in your offense going early.
There is Coach Mike Minter. He told us he was going to get into the business world when he was done with football. Didn't like it. And decided, okay, let's try some coaching. Went from high school now to the college level, and on a quick slant, throw is right on target to Jalen Kelsey, the sophomore out of Gainesville, Florida.
You saw the pressure there by Wake Forest. Just got it out in time. Was a fantastic passing catch there by Hodge. And again, getting his confidence, running a quick slant, running a swing to the running back. That's what you really want to see.
Now McDowell in at tailback, trips to the near side on first down. Probing the right side, but no push that time by the offensive line. Leading the charge, that is Suleiman Kamara, number 1 for Wake Forest.
When you look at this Wake Forest defense, they are so deep at defensive tackle. They feel like they can roll 3 or 4 different guys in there. You see Big Kamara getting in the backfield for the stop.
Coaching staff for Wake Forest was adamant this week. We have got to do a better job of stopping the run.
That's what Campbell is going to do. You saw against NC State, they tried to overcompensate is the word that the coaching staff used. Now they're going to load up the box and say, hey, beat us with your arm.
They got gashed early and often by the Wolfpack, losing a high-scoring affair, 45-42. On second down, Hodge will keep, weaving his way through traffic, and gobbles up 7 yards. A productive run by the nifty sophomore quarterback, Haj Malik Williams.
And again, Mike, this is where you have to be careful. You see Boogie trying to play it, goes inside. You got to play your gap, Boogie. He's going to run right where you came from, and you see the big pickup there by the quarterback.
43 carries on the season coming in for the quarterback, Williams. Always a threat to run. Now a third down and manageable, 3rd and 3 for the Camels. Williams with time. Williams surveys, nobody's open, now chucks it up, and it's caught in coverage inside the 10, and wrestled down is the back, Bryant Barr. Jasir Taylor saved a touchdown.
And we talked about it, 3rd downs, Boogie's down. He's going to come. You see he's double teamed there, almost got to the quarterback. Great job using his legs, extending the play.
They'll run tempo, 1st and goal. Handoff, nothing doing up the middle for Bryant Barr. Jammed up right near the line of scrimmage. Miles Fox, one of the men on the stop for the Demon Deacons.
And what a perfect start if you're Campbell. You're feeling good, your offense is hitting, you're doing really anything you want at this point. Look for Wake Forest to really stand up tall here and rely on that senior leadership to make a stand or hold them to 3.
A 2nd down and goal. Ball spotted at the 6. That's Lamaje McDowell, the freshman, in at tailback. Three to the right for Williams. Gets the snap, looking to run. Nowhere to go and nowhere to hide. Lassoed down for a loss. Trevion Red, the outside linebacker, on the stop.
And this is what Wake Forest defensive coordinator wants to see. Guys swarming to the ball, not allowing them to get that progression forward, to get that momentum going. Again, when you start making tackles for loss, get this team in a 3rd down position. As you see, running quarterback power to the left. Just too much strength for Wake Forest getting in the backfield.
Do they have enough confidence here in Williams' arm to make a play on a critical 3rd and goal?
And you see, that's what you want to look at. It looks like man coverage here with a 1 high safety. You've got to say, hey, who's my guy that I can throw it up to? You see number 1 at the bottom of your screen there on the numbers. He's a guy that they feel really good about going up and getting it.
Empty formation, pass is incomplete, but a flag. Cedric Frazier was jousting with one of the Wake Forest defenders, And that'll be an interference call, an automatic first down.
Defense, number 28. That's an automatic first down.
That's Zion Keith, the sophomore safety out of Florence, South Carolina.
And Mike, this is such a tough position for Wake Forest because they have so many guys who are hurt, maybe even a guy that wouldn't get that much playing time, and you see it right there, holding him from his back.
Extra offensive lineman in on the play for Campbell. They run it straight up the gut and stop just short. Bryant Barr inside the 1.
And if you're Campbell right here, you've got to say, hey, look, our offensive line versus your best defensive line. We're bigger, badder. Expect them to just run this thing 4 times in a row.
On second down, whistles before the snap. Penalty flag on the field. And we'll see what the call is.
There was no snap. False start. Number 77, offense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
That's on the right tackle, Tyler McClellan. You being the former offensive lineman, these are killers right here.
It absolutely is, especially not in a stadium that's packed out. There's no crowd noise. You know, it's tough when you get to do that because, again, now we go from the 1-yard line to the 6-yard line. Still confident in your play up front, but, man, that hurts you.
Might change the play calling here on second down. Williams will work out of the shotgun. Impressive opening drive for Campbell. Handoff up the middle, stacked at the 5 and brought backwards.
And he's met right away there. You see the linebackers just waiting on him as the offensive line opened up that hole. They said, no, sir. Campbell's going to run just an inside zone. All 3 linebackers are waiting on you and just absolutely stuff the run for a loss.
Go from the 1, and now it's 3rd and goal from the 4-yard line. Again, empty backfield. Williams looking over the middle, and nobody there.
And that's a win for Wake Forest. Again, they march right down the field. Your defense says, hey, look, we might bend, but we're not going to break. You got to stand tall, make the stop. Looks like they're making a little bit of a decision here whether they're going to kick it or go for it. It looks like they're going to try and go for it.
Well, I mean, on one hand, and your coach Mike Minter, and let's be honest, not many people are giving Campbell a chance tonight. So you might be able to use the mantra "nothing to lose."
Absolutely. Last game of the year.
Yeah,
just go for it.
Why not, right?
Absolutely.
And it is the 4th and final game for Campbell. Again, they have elected not to play in the spring, like most of their conference counterparts in the Big South. 4th and goal from the 4.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
EMAC 2 brutal penalties inside the 10.
That's tough. You know, if they were, not running a play, which I've certainly seen that, it looked like it. The tempo and the, guys running out there looked like they were trying to snap it. But sometimes you just want to back up. You're too close for your kicker. But it looks like that was not the case there.
Robert Brown is the kicker. This will be from 27 yards out. Snap is a little wild, and the kick is wide. And that all started with a bad snap, and everything went downhill from there. So Campbell comes up empty on an impressive opening drive. 8:18 to go. We're scoreless here in Winston-Salem. Mike Morgan, Eric McLean, and Lauren Sisler back with you here from Truist Field in Winston-Salem. And our first look at the Demon Deacons starting quarterback Sam Hartman, the 6'1" redshirt sophomore out of Charlotte. Started some games as a true freshman, really wasn't ready, but is coming into his own this season. And a good carry on first down for Christian Beal-Smith, the number 2 running back, but a guy who gets a lot of carries, and he'll gobble up 9.
He absolutely is, and you're seeing Wake Forest a little bit of tempo here. That's what they love to do, run the ball and then hit you with a sneaky pass as they get the first down.
Beal-Smith plowing ahead behind the left side of that line, a gain of 3 and a first down. Very balanced attack for Wake Forest. We're used to Dave Clawson and those offenses under Wake producing a lot of talent. But they have lost a lot at the wide receiver spot. Nifty run here, changing field, and finding something out of nothing is Beal Smith again.
How about just ripping some runs, just going through this? This is what you want to see from this Wake Forest. If you can establish that tempo and run up front, you're going to be in a great position.
On second down, a steady dose of number 26 in black. And it's Beal Smith will move the chains out to the 44-yard line.
And what you're going to see from Campbell is really they try to bring and disguise pressure. They love to blitz, so that's where you can get a little bit scary in this runs and really break one off.
Split twins for the Demon Deacons. On first down, again it's Beal Smith, but not this time. Wrapped up in the backfield. That is Darian Slade, the fifth-year senior safety, a hometown product out of Winston-Salem.
And Darian Slade, that's a guy you want to watch all game long. He's getting Senior Bowl looks. He can play any position in the defensive backfield. Very special talent.
First pass out of the hand of Sam Hartman, and it's complete at midfield. And that'll be number 7, and that is the guy, Donovan Green. The coaching staff, when we asked, give us one player that needs to step up, no hesitation. Got to get Donovan Green to play bigger.
When you look at just the receivers that they've had on the outside, he says, hey, Green, you're the next man up. You know, maybe not expecting it until Sage Surratt opted out, but he has got to step up for this team, and it was very vocal and present.
Sets up a 3rd down and 5. Hartman with time, rifles one complete, and that'll be a first down into plus territory. That one caught by Jaquari Roberson.
Great job by the offensive line there, giving Sam time to throw the ball, goes through 2 reads, hits one of his favorite targets.
Again, no huddle. Hartman, cock and fire, going for the home run ball. Over the shoulder grab by A.T. Perry.
Again, when we talked to this coaching staff, they said our outside wide receivers have to step up. Last week against NC State, we were 0 for 7 on deep balls. You see there, great sign connecting on their first one.
From the 4. Modest gain on first down and goal.
Great gain there again. You're just looking to try and get some traffic up front, show some different looks. Now you see the big tight end coming on, a little bit of a heavier package Wake Forest is going to have down here at the goal line.
This will be the 11th play of the drive. Campbell had a 12-play drive that stalled with a missed field goal. Hartman trying to cash in on second down. Handoff. Beal Smith finds pay dirt. Touchdown, Wake Forest.
When you have 2 running backs that are this special, it just makes it easy for you. You want to get them both touches. You saw Christian Beal Smith there, you know, really just getting the bulk of the carries, really on the whole drive, outside of 2 passes. And again, he's so special. His body's getting bigger. Coach said, you know, really before, he was the speed guy. He was the cut guy. Now, as you just saw there, slamming it in for the inside zone for the easy touchdown.
That drive belonged to number 26. It was Kenneth Walker who ran for 3 touchdowns last week for Wake. Crane with the extra point, knocks it through. Demon Deacons strike first.
It was a beautiful thing to see. Again, you have it over the top. You have a big touchdown or a big pass there. Get you all the way down to the goal line, and then give it to your sledgehammer running back for the touchdown.
ACC Network Football is presented by Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville.
Back with you. Friday Night Lights coming at you. Little college football action. Of course, this game not originally on the schedule. Wake Forest, Notre Dame postponed, and that allowed Wake Forest to go on the hunt for a new opponent. Insert the Camels of Campbell playing their 4th and final game of this 2020 season. Again, they elected not to play in the spring like most of the FCS schools will be doing this year. Great. We'll watch it sail over his head, and the Camels will take over 1st and 10 from a 25-yard line. Realize a lot of people tuning in for the first time. You're seeing the Campbell fighting Camels. So what do we know? Well, they restarted the program in 2008. They had a sabbatical, if you will, of over 50 years. They're one of just 9 teams in the FCS ranks playing this fall, and they will not participate in the Big South spring season. The reason being, EMAC, it's just too much to ask on the body to play right now and then again in a few months from now.
It absolutely is. You got 4 games in the fall, a full spring, and then turn right back around and play in the fall. That's too much for a body to endure.
Barr, the lone back on first down. Pass is tipped up and picked off at the 25. And finally wrestled down is Travion Red, the outside linebacker. Terrific play for the senior.
And what an absolutely fantastic play there. You see him riding it out. He's reading that run. And really is a kind of disguise. You know, Hodge didn't see him at all. He jumps up, tips it to himself, and makes a fantastic play. That's what you want to see from a senior, a guy who, again, has played a lot of ball. He understands the little idiosyncrasies, was able to time that up perfectly, make a huge play for Wake Forest.
A great field position now for Wake Forest offensively. Wake Forest defense, again, they've been humbled a little bit in the start of this season, but again, when you start off with the #1 team in the country, then a road game at NC State, that is baptism by fire. Banging his way to a first down. That's Kenneth Walker, who had a terrific game in a losing effort against NC State last week. 27 carries for the sophomore, 3 touchdowns, 131 yards.
And you see, this is how special he is. Stays patient and then has the athleticism to bounce it outside and squirt in for a couple of yards.
Bounce outside here. Penalty flag on the play as Walker is tangled up inside the 5.
Holding, offense number 59, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Well, that just gave me a chance to offer up the name I've been practicing all week, EMAC. Loic Nagasam Naya.
And you know that's tough, especially when you have a guy who played a ton last year, starter. He just gets that arm out there and holds on too long. That's an easy call for the referees.
Did you want to take a shot at that name in your
No, that's all
debut?
you. That's all you. That's why you're in the big chair and I'm over here.
First down and 10. A jitterbug move, but nowhere to go. Kenneth Walker could not find daylight.
And for some people who haven't watched Wake Forest before, they do that slow zone read with all kinds of RPOs and traffic going behind it. And an RPO, that run pass option, there it just held on too long. They're able to make the play.
Hartman on play action, all kinds of time, and throws wide of the mark. Intended for Perry, who had the deep catch on the opening drive.
Great protection by the offensive line there. Threw it where, you know, maybe the wide receiver could catch it, but if not, if he's not catching it, nobody's catching it. Smart play by Sam there with nobody open.
Keep in mind, Wake Forest had both their starting tackles from a year ago drafted into the NFL, so they're still trying to figure out just what they're made of.
They call them the Beef Boys up front.
It.
A lot of love for the Wake Forest offensive line.
3rd down and goal from the 19. Hartman again, great pocket, missiles one at the 10, complete to Perry, but well shy of the marker. We'll see what Wake Forest does.
And this is a long throw right here, an NFL type throw. He's on the opposite hash, throwing a curl route there. Slow developing play, really wanted to hit his wide receiver going into the end zone on the corner route.
Injury timeout.
Tomorrow, what a college football tripleheader we have for you right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. NC State squares off against quarterback Kenny Pickett at number 24 Pittsburgh at noon Eastern time. Then Virginia Tech takes on Duke at 8. Trevor Lawrence and number 1 Clemson hosting Virginia in our ACC primetime matchup presented by Geico. It'll be Nick Skiba on for the field goal of 28 yards. Snap and hold were good, but the kick is shanked to the left.
And that's tough for Wake Forest. Again, you get the huge turnover, you get some momentum. Campbell does a great job of keeping you out of the end zone. You've got to get points right there. Nick Skiba broke all kinds of records a year ago. To see him miss like that, that's rare.
That looked like me off the tee box. Puts an end to a 5-play, 11-yard drive, so unable to cash in on the turnover. It'll be Campbell football in just a moment. 3:06 to go first quarter. Mike Morgan, Eric McLean, and Lauren Sisler. We were talking about Campbell's decision, Mac, about not playing in the spring and playing 4 games, all FBS opponents. They almost won that battle against Georgia Southern in week 1. They wound up going for 2 and failed to get the 2-point conversion. But it's been a grueling stretch of games for a small school from the FCS level. That ball might have squirted out. I believe it did. Barr fumbled it, and Wake Forest has recovered it.
How quickly a drive can change the momentum of a game. You're feeling really good if you're Campbell. You just held them to 0 points, getting the ball in the red zone. Now they're right back. Tremendous effort. You see them ripping the ball out. A lot of teams are just, they coach that so heavily to, if you see ball, get ball. Great play by the defense there to really rip that ball out. Huge turnover. Wake Forest ball close to the red zone.
It looked like Travion Red, 17, stripped it. Zion Keith recovering it, but swarming defense there by Wake Forest.
And that's back-to-back turnovers caused by number 17, Red. Again, when you have a guy, a 5th-year senior, you put your blood, sweat, and tears into a program. You love to see great success on the field from a guy like that.
Injured player for Wake Forest is Luke Masterson, one of the talented safeties in that secondary.
Again, a position group, Mike, that it's tough. They face a lot of injuries. You hate to see that to anybody. A big safety, 6'2", 220. Oh man, to lose another one in your defensive backfield, that's tough.
One thing that Coach Dave Clawson told us, this season's been especially difficult for his squad. It's been different for everybody, of course, with COVID, but they are a developmental program. They typically start off with lighter opponents, a lot of young guys that are still trying to develop over time. They don't get a bunch of 5-star kids like a Clemson or a Florida State. So they're still trying to figure out just how good some of these guys are going to be. To the ground on first down. Nice spin move there by Beal Smith.
And that's what you want to see. Get back to that bread and butter if you're Wake Forest. We're moving guys up front. Great job by the offensive line, and then the shiftiness of Beal Smith there.
Out of the gun on 2nd and 5. Beal Smith again. It's been a steady dose of the redshirt junior from East Forsyth High School in Winston-Salem.
And just give it to him, and then give it to him again. He's churning those legs, not letting little arm tackles bring him down. A great game so far by Christian Beal Smith.
9 carries, 40 yards already for Beal Smith. Ball spotted just inside the 10, so 1st and goal. And they'll go a little wildcat. Direct snap to Beal Smith. Look at those moves.
Look at the fancy feet.
Cutting and finding the end zone. Touchdown, Beal Smith from 10 yards out.
When you're running as well as you are, cut out the middleman. Just go to quarterback, Christian Beal Smith. Fancy footwork. Was tremendous to see that athleticism as you see on the screen here. Nothing there, but he's patient. He bounces it outside. Runs through an arm tackle again. A guy, Darian Slade, I told you to watch him. Fantastic run.
They ran that play a number of times last week against NC State, the direct snap to the running back, but it was Kenneth Walker getting those direct snaps and scoring 3 touchdowns. Skiba tacks on the extra point, and while Kenneth Walker has been the headliner this season, Christian Beal Smith dominating tonight.
Again, just get rid of the middleman. Give it to your running back. Let him create the fancy footwork. Looking like a joystick out there. PlayStation, he's killing it.
breaking ankles on that run. Career numbers already for the redshirt junior. You see Kenneth Walker and what he has done, and Christian Beal-Smith. That's a great 1-2 punch for the Deacons to help take some of the pressure off of Sam Hartman.
Mike, that's absolutely right. And again, these guys want to keep them 50-50. They want to share the rock. You see the yards there. The touchdown's a little bit more one-sided with Kenneth Walker, but they feel great about both of these guys. And again, Christian has changed his body. He's bulked up a little bit more. Now they're essentially the same player. So why not keep them both fresh, run them as long as they want, and you see the success that he's had early in this game.
Deacons take advantage of the turnover this time. A 14-0 lead as Great has not had much of an opportunity to return one thus far. We'll see what Campbell does now on drive number 4 as we say hello once again to Lauren Sisler.
Hey guys, we were talking about managing reps and obviously playing 4 FBS opponents. The competition has been tough, but this is a different type of football season for them. Managing the reps are obviously a big part of the game plan, and with the limited time together in spring and summer, this football team really hasn't tackled since last November. So put that in perspective. You haven't tackled really since last November, and one way they're really monitoring the wear and tear on the body is through the Catapult tracking system, which is what they use in practice. And it's really a small tracking device the players wear to calculate hundreds of metrics. And what's really interesting about this Catapult system, it's basically a GPS system and Russian space-based satellites to measure player workload, acceleration, deceleration, directional changes, the explosive movements, and these metrics can really help to determine how much a player is exerting in practice and provide some guidance on rep count and wear and tear on the body.
Lauren, great stuff. For a minute there, I thought you were giving a scouting report on the guy who just made the tackle, and that's Boogie Basham. Explosive. It's certainly a guy that has always got that heart rate up, but in a good way. One of the top defensive linemen in the country, number 9 for Wake Forest. Pocket collapses, and down goes Williams. Basham just picked up another sack, and that's 21 consecutive games with a tackle for loss. That is by far and away, EMAC, the longest streak in the country.
And he is such a special player. Again, not the fastest, but he works so hard. His hands are active, his feet are active as a defensive line. He doesn't let just one guy block him. You see on the play before there where he ran the quarterback down. Now as the pocket collapses, Boogie Basham.
Got the nickname Boogie from his babysitter, who told Mom, that kid is constantly jumping around. I'm calling him Boogie, and the nickname just stuck. On 3rd and 12. Complete at the 28, turning it upfield, and right near the marker on the reception is Austin White.
A little bit of a breakdown in coverage there. Again, when you have a quarterback who can scramble out, extend plays, guys make cuts, get wide open. As you see the 3rd down conversion there, huge pickup for Campbell.
And that'll be the end of quarter number 1. Campbell had its opportunity on the first drive, came up empty. Wake Forest taking advantage of a couple of turnovers. Deacons 14, the Camels nothing. Friday Night Lights here from Winston-Salem. Start of quarter number 2 from Winston-Salem. Wake Forest up 14-0. The Camels of Campbell on the move. Quick throw to the near side and reeled in at the 42-yard line. That is Jalen Kelsey, the sophomore from Gainesville, as we say hello to Lauren Sisler.
Hey guys, a very emotional Luke Masterson here on the sidelines. The 5th-year senior had the towel over his head. It looked like he was wiping tears from his eyes. He's got his right ankle wrapped up, and you saw quarterback Sam Hartman walk over and give him some encouraging words, but no update from the team on what the injury is specifically, but by the emotion you can tell it must be pretty serious.
You would hope for a better fate for that young man, as you mentioned, a 5th-year senior. And they're already a little thin on the defensive side. Timeout on the field. 14-0 our score. That is a look at the true freshman backup safety, Nick Anderson, now forced to play in place of the injured Luke Masterson. And this is something ordinarily, EMAC, Wake Forest would not be forced to do.
No, they absolutely wouldn't. Again, they're such a developmental program. They want their guys to have time and to grow within the program. But hey, it's 2020 and you got to do things a little differently.
Embrace the different and the abnormal. That's what we've all done so far this year as Barr scampers for first down yardage.
And Barr's your shifty guy. He said, hey, he's the speedster. When we talked to this coaching staff, you saw him get the edge there, pick up the first down pretty easily.
We are seeing bodies drop like flies here in this first half. That's Tyler Williams, defensive tackle, on the ground.
It's a tough situation. Again, we've mentioned a couple of times on the broadcast how thin Wake Forest is on defense right now. You hate to see any time a player's injured, but especially with this group already facing a lot of injuries.
Every Saturday morning, it's The Huddle with Jordan Cornette. My partner here, Eric McLean. Guy is so versatile. He's a star in the booth. He's a star on the studio set.
Easy.
EJ Manuel and Mark Rick, the coach, get you ready for ACC football. They'll preview the slate of games and keep you updated on all things ACC football. That's tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app.
Hey, I'm just the Christmas tree, all right? I like to have stars and pretty things hang around me. That's why I got you up here tonight, my man.
I like that. Well, so far you've been a present to the American public in the ACC Network. That is for sure. On first down, rolling out. And just lobs that one out of bounds. Could not find an open target. He was looking downfield for Jalen Kelsey. Not enough separation. Campbell had that opening drive. They marched down the field, 12 plays, 66 yards. Looked like they were going to go for it on 4th and goal, and then the penalty, and then eventually the field goal. And was unable to get on the board. A couple turnovers since then. Williams from midfield. Little pressure from the backside. Missiles one complete. And banged down at the 34 is Austin Height, who has become his top target in this first half.
Great protection there by the offensive line. You saw Boogie, he backed up. He was in coverage, but a great job by these guys really picking up the blitz, coming right up the middle. And then you see just the quarterback having the presence to hit his guy over the middle. A little bit of an up post route there. Great concentration pulling in the catch.
First down from the 34. Quick toss behind the line, caught. And powering ahead to the 30 is Jalen Kelsey. That's Zion Keith on another tackle for Wake Forest. He's been everywhere.
And Mike, that is a difficult throw. Again, you see how long that throw is from the opposite hash down to the bottom of the numbers there. Great arm strength. Again, we know that he can run it, but he's been doing fantastic with his arm so far.
You like what you see so far from the sophomore?
I really do. And again, the special player, I would like to see a little bit more designed runs, but they said that's just not what we do. You know, he just creates, and if he sees it, he kind of takes off. But I think he's just so special that it could really help you just get him involved in the run game a little more.
On second down, between the tackles, it's McDowell, the freshman. You know, so often, EMAC, when you've got an FCS school playing a Power 5 school, particularly in a game like this so early in the season, you expect the line of scrimmage to be dominated by the school, in this case from the ACC. How do you feel like Campbell's O-line has competed so far?
You know, I think they've done a really good job. Again, just holding that pressure up front, picking up blitzes, because you're absolutely right. That's the biggest difference, especially in my opinion, when you go from FCS, FBS, Power 5 especially. That line of scrimmage is where you see the biggest difference in push, speed, strength. These guys have done a great job so far.
Campbell has been good on third down, and that's their third down conversion.
Are they listening to the broadcast? Did they just hear me say, get the quarterback involved? How about we go power right with your explosive running back in Haj Malik Williams and pick up the first down?
You see Mike Minter, Carolina Panther Hall of Famer. Lauren, what do you have on the O-line?
Yeah, the O-line, of course, having a lot of size and could compete at the FBS level. Coach Minter is super excited about their potential with an entire year ahead of them to get them back in the weight room with conditioning and the right nutrition. He says these guys are going to be special.
It certainly held their own tonight. 11th play of the drive. Again, quarterback keeper, not that time. One-on-one, and he could not make Ja'Cory Johns miss.
And we're going to talk a lot about Carlos Basham, guys, I promise you. But when you see Ja'Cory on the right side of your screen here, he's a war daddy too. He read that perfectly. Big athletic quarterback. He said, hey, I'm bigger and more athletic. Just a great job wrapping up that explosive player in Williams and bringing him to the turf.
And the drive continues. Another long, sustained drive for Campbell. 2nd down and 12. Flushed out to the left, looking downfield. Oh, has a man wide open. Instead, he'll run and shift his way to the 18-yard line, banged down by Boogie.
And Williams, he was locked in right there. He made the decision, hey, I'm running. But what you can't do if you're this Wake Forest defense is give up your passing lane, your rush lane. You saw right there, 2 guys went to the inside. You can't do that. He's too fast. He's too smart of a player. He's going to see that you give up your running lane there, and he's going to hit the outside.
Campbell 3 for 4 on 3rd down. Over 10 minutes to play, first half. Pass complete at the 14, but a slip, and that will cost Cedric Frazier any chance of turning it upfield. So again, decision time on 4th and short.
And that's a tough one right there, Mike. You ran a 4-yard route. You're trying to get 6 yards. You either got to extend it just a little bit more there so you can catch and make sure you're past that first down, or you got to trust that you can do it after the catch. You see he pulls up, slips there. They're going for it on 4th down here. Why not?
4th down and 2. Barr in the backfield. They'll feed him, and nowhere to go, but a penalty flag on the opposite side of the field.
Wake Forest got a little excited there. They fell for the snap count, jumped off sides there. Free play.
5-yard penalty. That foul results in a first down.
Critical penalty.
And so now, again, if you're Wake Forest, you're getting them to 4th down. It's our ball. And you jump off sides and just give breath and you know, just new life to this Campbell team. First down in the 10-yard line. That's tough.
Now this is deja vu all over again for Campbell. Just like the first drive of the game, they get it inside the 10. They had a 1st and goal. Now let's see if they do something with it.
You got a heavier package in here. 2 tight ends stacked on the right side there.
Fake it, toss it, and complete in the flat. Out of bounds at the 7, and a penalty flag to boot. That's the tight end, Jordan Goko, on the reception.
Great play design there. Get it out quick. It's going to be interesting to see what this penalty flag is.
There's no foul for offensive pass interference. The ball was caught behind the line of scrimmage. 2nd out.
Good explanation. It sets up a 2nd and goal from the 7-yard line. So Wake Forest defense that has really been carved up in the first couple of games. Another red zone opportunity to stop Campbell here. Little fake option to the far side. Wide open target, back of the end zone, touchdown.
And he said, hey, I'm going to do this on Sunday too, getting 2 feet in there. Fantastic play. Back of the end zone, Donaldson.
Mason Donaldson, a grad transfer out of Allentown, Pennsylvania.
And you look at the play design again. We're running. Sneak a guy out in the corner. Fantastic concentration. Get both feet in for the touchdown.
That is the first reception of the year for Donaldson.
Why not do it on the biggest stage?
The ruling on the field. The ruling on the field of a touchdown is under further review.
Now, if it stands, That would be the culmination of a 15-play, 75-yard drive.
And that's a huge confidence boost if you're Campbell to say, hey, we can line up with these guys and go 75 down. We're feeling good.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands.
And there you have it, Mason Donaldson with his first catch of the year, and it's a memorable one, a touchdown against a Power 5 opponent. And it makes it a one-possession game, the extra point pending now for the Camels. How about Haj Malik Williams as well after the pick? He's 7 for 8. Looked impressive on that drive. Extra point is hammered home as we take another look at the catch in the back of the end zone.
And you see again the fantastic play design, the concentration to come down with this catch. Donaldson repping 9 dime on the helmet, 910, the Fayetteville zip code, area code there. Great catch.
The problem for Campbell hasn't been marching down the field. 12-play drive to start things off, 15-play drive the last time. The problem has been what's happened in between, those 2 costly turnovers. Wake Forest capitalizing on one, missing a field goal on the other. So here we are. In some respects, it feels like Wake Forest has dominated this game. Then you look up at the scoreboard, EMAC, and it's one-possession game.
Yeah, and there's a lot of times where the game isn't reflected or stats aren't reflected by what you see on the scoreboard. But what Coach Minter from Campbell has to be excited about, he says, I want to see us finish the job. No matter what the scoreboard shows, I want to see effort. I want to see our guys playing lights out. Man, he has to be happy so far.
No question about it. He relished this opportunity. Remember, Big South schools were told they could play 4 games in the fall, but you could have scheduled anybody. They decided to go for some pretty good opponents at the FBS level. Almost won it in week 1, and here they are, the first ever time that they've clashed against a Power 5 school as Donovan Green takes it out near the 30. They've been terrific on returns this year. Wake Forest has both kickoff and punt returns.
Yeah, and just to go back on Coach Minter's kind of idea around this whole thing, he wanted to go out and to get big-time opponents. He said, hey, look, this is helping us with recruiting. This is helping us with marketability, just building our brand. And his team's on national television on the ACC network.
And he knows a thing or two about playing on national television. Back-to-back national championships with Nebraska, where he was an All-American back in 1994, 1995, and a great pro career in Charlotte with the Carolina Panthers. Tried the business world. He said, yeah, you know, I'm just not feeling it. And then somebody asked him if he would work with one of the local high schools. He said, yeah, I'll give it a shot. And before you knew it, he got the coaching bug and decided to coach in high school, won a couple of state championships, and here he is now coaching Campbell. Good run here for Kenneth Walker. Gets to the outside and stiff arms his way out of bounds in plus territory at the 44.
Mike, you have to see the shiftiness here. Watch Kenneth Walker as he gets into the hole. The patience, get your lineman out front, and then just let your footwork do the rest. Whoop! Gets outside. Fantastic run there. Big stiff arm at the end.
27-yard scamper by the sophomore. And they'll keep it on the ground here. Again, it's number 9 in black, Kenneth Walker, who, like so many Wake Forest players, not highly recruited, but that's what Dave Clawson and company do. They take 2- and 3-star kids that get overlooked, develop them into all-conference type players. I was surprised just doing some research for this game, EMAC, how many guys they've had drafted, how many guys are on NFL rosters.
And that's what they thrive with, right? It's that development. It's getting guys into our program, trusting our scouting and saying, hey, this guy can play for Wake Forest. He might not have offers from Clemson, Alabama, Florida State, but he can play for us and we can make him into an NFL prospect.
From the 34 on first down, again, good yardage on the ground for Kenneth Walker.
Number 9, Kenneth Walker.
You talk about Dave Clawson, a guy who has won everywhere he has been. Before he got this job, he's coached at smaller levels. You see kind of a background on Dave Clawson. Short run will go for a first down. That's Gruel on the carry. This is what you call paying your dues. A head coach at Fordham, Richmond, Bowling Green. He won a conference title at all 3 of his stops before Wake Forest. And all he's done here in Winston-Salem is lead the Demon Deacons 4 consecutive bowl games.
It's something that they have never done here. Remarkable to turn the program around.
Timeout Campbell. Wake Forest in the lead, 14-7. I mentioned some of the accolades for Dave Clawson in other spots, and you look at what he's done already at Wake Forest. 4 consecutive bowl games, first time in school history. That's the big one right there, the Belk Bowl win over an SEC foe in Texas A&M. And they win the Birmingham Bowl, defeating Memphis. Last year they're in the Pinstripe Bowl, lose that one, but you know, they're talking about a program that does not go to a ton of bowl games, 4 in a row. Great second effort there by Kenneth Walker. He's a hard man to bring down. They're also ranked nationally for the first time last year after starting 5-0. First time they've been ranked in 11 years. I think so much of coaching hires, EMAC, is a fit. This guy is a perfect fit for Wake Forest.
It absolutely is, and you can't come to this job from anywhere. It's not like other places in the country, and you're absolutely right. Dave Clawson has done a fantastic job in his tenure here.
Demon Deacons continue to march downfield, and just inside the pylon, it's a touchdown. Kenneth Walker from 13 yards out.
He's too fast. He's too shifty. This entire drive, he's just been an absolute joystick going back and forth, juking and jiving. You see the speed there on the outside zone. Great job, offensive line, throwing those defensive tackles outside. Great read by Kenneth to go up in the hole.
EMAC, you cover the ACC as closely as anybody. Walker and Beal Smith have to be one of the more underrated tandems out there.
Oh, absolutely. And there's a bunch of good ones in the ACC. You look all across the map there with the offensive lines that are blocking for these guys, but they have done a fantastic job. You see the juke and then the speed get into the end zone.
Feed it to Kenneth Walker, and he's going to make plays for you. He punches it in for the touchdown to put Wake Forest up 21-7. And I'll tell you guys, Kenneth Walker is another level kind of running back. Sam Hartman said that when he steps on the field, you can just see it in his eyes that he's going to make plays for you. Just get him the football. And as you guys can see, he's got great athleticism, and he's really a lot of fun to watch. Definitely excited to see him grow this season.
He certainly has not disappointed thus far in this game, coming off a career performance last week. And a tough loss to the Wolfpack. Finally a return on the kickoff, reversing field and just running for anything they can possibly get is great. And that's a gain of 6, but not exactly what you wanted if you're Campbell.
And this is not how you want to start after scoring a touchdown, giving one up. You know, you want to stay in this ball game. Lucky to get what he did there. But man, a tough start here for the Camels within their own 5-yard line.
We'll see now how Campbell responds. 6 minutes and change to go, first half. See Saturday night here on the ACC Network, Virginia at Clemson. Any chance the Cavaliers can give your Tigers a run?
You know, if it looks anything like last year's ACC championship, it's not going to be good for the Wahoos.
That leads the receiver out of bounds. No chance for Kelsey. Covered closely on the play by Peyton Woolard.
Talking with Wake Forest, we said, what are some keys to the game? They said, stop the run, don't let the quarterback beat us with his legs, and then limit outside production. You just saw there really forcing the guy out of bounds. The defensive back did. Tight throw out of bounds.
Demon Deacons showing a little blitz here on second down, and a gaping hole straight up the gut. First down yardage for Brian Barr.
We've mentioned it a bunch on this broadcast here, but the offensive line up front averaging 325 pounds. That is a massive offensive line for even ACC. Those are some big guys, and they are doing a great job so far this game, really opening up some running lanes for these running backs and quarterback.
And there you get a look. I mean, Those guys are not getting ripped off at the all-you-can-eat buffet table.
They're taking their time and getting their money's worth.
On first down from the 16. Missiles one complete to the 21-yard line. That is Jai Williams.
So now we're starting to get back to that first drive feel. We're having some dinks and dumps, doing really well in the run game. Again, quarterback confidence now is at a high. He feels very comfortable with this offense going against these guys up front. Short second and a couple inches right here.
McDowell, the lone back, on second and short. And the throw is right through the intended target, Austin Height. That ball was, he did not take anything off it for a short throw.
He didn't, and very lucky that that wasn't a pick six right there. The defensive back was in a great position, but maybe a little bit too high for even number 18, because there's nobody in front of him if he catches that ball.
He missiled that pass. Might have wanted a little more finesse on it. Now third down and 1. Play clock under 10. Lawaje McDowell gets the handoff, and he'll have the first down, tripped up at the 33-yard line.
And Mike, when you see that play there, we had trips to the far right. They were all the way out there. Why do you think they did that? They want to bring all your run support out. They want to stretch those guys to say, hey, it's our big guys versus yours. We're feeling really comfortable with that matchup right now. Great inside zone play to take away some of that run help.
Campbell continues to bleed some clock here. 4.5 minutes to go in the first half. And again, Camels will keep it on the ground. Gain tackled after a gain of 2 is McDowell.
You see the big tight end there motioning over to the side of Boogie Basham. Whether it's a run play or a pass play, they want multiple guys targeting Boogie and saying, hey, we're not leaving him one-on-one any play.
Basham already with a tackle for loss in this game. 21 consecutive games. Longest streak in the country. He's lined up wide on the bottom of your screen. Coming around here. Meanwhile, Hodge trying to find some running room, trying to buy time, and eventually the clock struck 0. Ja'Cory Johns will get credit for the sack.
We mentioned him earlier. Say, hey, I know we love number 9, but pay attention to number 4. This is textbook. Watch the rush by both defensive ends. Go past the quarterback, but fight back. If 4 didn't get him, 9 was going to. He was right behind him. Tremendous play.
A very good play by Johns, a sophomore out of Cartersville, Georgia. And here is a 3rd and 11. 2 receivers each way for Williams. Scrambling, lofting it up for grabs and out of bounds. And guess who was under hot pursuit there? Carlos Boogie Basham.
Yeah, and really that was a great job by the quarterback. Again, we just mentioned it. They're going to double, triple, whatever it takes on Boogie. You saw the running back come out of the backfield, chip Boogie. It almost didn't matter, but the quarterback, again, escaping pressure, really throwing that ball away.
We talked to Boogie Basham this week. One of the things he says that he loves about playing, and I'm sure the scouts love about him too, he can play a number of spots on the field.
He absolutely can. And again, a big-time prospect. The guy's 6'5", 280, 290 pounds. He's a guy that NFL execs, GMs, defensive coordinators are going to love when he gets to the next level, just to move him around and let him be special.
Fair catch at the 22. That's where Wake Forest will take over with 2:50 to go first half. Tomorrow, great triple header for you right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. North Carolina State takes on number 24 Pittsburgh. What a defensive line they've got there in the Steel City. Virginia Tech taking on Duke, and then in prime time, Trevor Lawrence and number 1 Clemson hosting Virginia. That's our primetime matchup presented by Geico. with Lauren Sisler and Eric McLean. Mike Morgan here in Winston-Salem, Truist Field. A crowd of 2,200 capped off, trying to make the most of the openings that you have now with COVID. Every school is different, every state is different. They're just glad to have some people allowed to come in, and it does make a difference. I know this is a 30+ thousand seat stadium and you see a lot of empty seats on TV, but having something as opposed to nothing just makes a world of difference.
100%. And you saw these guys, different schools, talking about, man, we're just happy anybody's allowed in to have a little bit of excitement in some of our fans there, and of course family members. You're absolutely right.
We had different schools taking different approaches to that. Some at about 20%, of course, depending on how big your stadium is. That could be in the neighborhood of 20,000 fans. We've seen that at a few destinations. Lauren, what do you have on the attendance?
Yeah, so what's interesting, you know, with 2,200 fans in the stands, that actually happened at 5 o'clock tonight. 5 o'clock is when the mandate came out for Phase 3. And so this was the first game that they were able to have this many fans in attendance. When they played Clemson, there were only 50 fans here. It was really just family members. So they've actually been preparing for this for over 6 months, just preparing for what this would look like. And of course, here in the state of North Carolina, they decided to go with a 7% capacity. And so this is something that's been in the works for a long time, and they've got the protocols in place to make this safe for fans to spread out and be socially distanced and enjoy a football game.
Deep ball reeled in over the shoulder, catch by Green. They wanted him to step up his play. 2 big catches for number 7.
That's what you love to see. Again, when a guy's challenged by his coaching staff saying, hey, we need you to step up. What do? You answer the call with a huge catch there on the sideline.
33-yard catch after the 22-yard run. And that'll give the 2,200 fans something to cheer about. Now 1st down and 10, under 2 minutes to go, first half. And a penalty flag. That's likely going to back him up 5.
Snap infraction. Offense number 55. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Or C-Mac, you never had to worry about that in your playing days. You played in front of packed houses in Death Valley.
We were silent, Cal, man. We didn't have to worry about hearing the quarterback or being tricked by the quarterback. We never knew when they were snapping the ball anyway, so we had to trust our center, big old Jay Guillermo. He did a great job for us.
A shout out to Jay Guillermo. I like it. 1st and long. Hartman again pulls the trigger, and that time misses Donovan Green. Not sure if they were on the same page.
Yeah, it looks like they were a little bit confused there. One guy was throwing the ball to a way that the wide receiver, he was going a different route there.
Wake Forest with 4 chunk plays in this game thus far. 4 plays of 20 or more yards, 2 on this drive. And trying to punctuate the end of the first half with a score. The sophomore Hartman working out of the shotgun. Fakes the handoff and is lassoed down. Big time sack by Joshua Johnson. He was ejected last week on a targeting penalty, so he's back in and makes a big play.
Yeah, and he's a special talent. Again, both these defensive ends. You see number 1 here, Sam just riding it out too long. The look's not there. Great heads-up play by the defensive end.
Now 3rd down and 20. This drive is going in reverse. Play clock at 5. Hartman going down the near side, and almost a one-handed grab by Perry.
Yeah, and when you saw the defense lined up there, he was one-on-one, no safety help over the top. You and I both know that's where the ball was going to go, just a little outside. You'd love to see him come down with a big catch there. Again, just a little bit too far. Would have been a spectacular catch and probably a touchdown. Just missed it.
Perry goes 6'5", sophomore out of Lake Worth, Florida. Now a 41-yard attempt by Skiba. We're told he's good from about 47 and in, so we know he's got the leg. Kick is on the way, and he line drives it home. Now the Demon Deacons settle for 3, and the lead swells to 24-7.
You're going backwards, never a good thing. Great to get points there. We saw Skiba miss earlier in the game. Looked like the handle wasn't perfect, a little wide snap. Good to see him get back on track here.
Let's talk about Wake Forest this year. I mean, we've alluded to the fact they've had a lot of losses from a year ago, a lot of guys moving on to the NFL. Of course, on August 19th, they got some news that they kind of expected, and that was Sage Surratt, who was projected to be a first-round wide receiver. You put him in this offense, it's a much different-looking unit. So they've had to try to build on what they have with some young players that are not fully developed yet. You see what Surratt did last year. I mean, 5th best in the country, 111 receiving yards per game. He is a game-breaking wide receiver, and you take that kind of talent away from a Clemson, and they got 3 more of them. You take that kind of talent away from Wake Forest, it's a big void to fill.
It's a little bit different, right? You've got to grow guys up quicker. We've mentioned Green a couple of times, has done well tonight. But the best thing of that situation that I heard with just talking about Sage opting out was that there's no bad blood between anybody on the team, the coaching staff. Everyone knew it was in his best interest, and it was great to see that.
Penalty flag on the kickoff. One thing that Sam Hartman told us, speaking of no bad blood, he said he and Sage Surratt still talk. He's training down at the IMG Academy. They talk 3 times a week. Obviously, it's still a very close relationship, and wishing nothing but the best for his former teammate. Trying to settle what this penalty is here on the kickoff.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 12 of the receiving team. The penalty is half the distance to the goal line. Campbell ball, first down.
We haven't had one of those all night. That's Jack Wilkes, a freshman linebacker, on the penalty.
And that's tough. Again, you're a young guy. You're in a big game like this. The best thing you can do if you're not starting is to not hear your name over the loudspeaker. That's a tough one there that, again, puts you in a bind if you're Campbell, starting on your own 12.5.
We'll see how they play it here. Just 51 seconds on the clock. And conservative play call on first down. Good run by Barr, and that'll be a first down out to the 24-yard line.
And you see Barr's mad at himself. He knew if he could make one guy miss, he was going to the house call right there. Shifty, speedy guy, almost broke loose.
Another run on first down, and not that time. Stacked up by Travion Reed and Miles Fox.
I'll tell you what, Red there's having a great game so far. He's all over the field, making big-time plays.
They don't have to snap it again if they don't want to here on 2nd and 9. 8 carries, 31 yards for Bryant Barr. And it'll be Barr here. Out to the 31, and that'll put an end to half number 1. Campbell had some successful drives, just 7 points on the night. And Wake Forest getting some good play by that talented tandem of running backs, Kenneth Walker and Christian Beal-Smith. Dave Clawson and company will have a 24-7 lead at intermission. Emac, some thoughts?
You know, I think the run game for both sides is really hitting well. If you're Wake Forest, you've got to feel good about what you're able to do, and you're accomplishing some of your goals. You wanted to see youth on the outside really grow up and be able to connect on the outside passing routes. That's what they've done so far. But Campbell, you're not quite out of it yet. You're fighting hard. And again, you've got to be happy with that running attack.
They have kept it competitive. Mike Minter will have some things to be happy about, some things to work on during the half. And standing by with Coach Clawson is Lauren.
Coach Clawson, will start with the defensive side of the football. Obviously some penalties there in the red zone, but some key takeaways. What are you seeing from your defense that you like so far?
Well, I like the turnovers. We capitalized on one of them, not on the other, but right now we're not getting off the field. Campbell's doing a great job of staying on the field, converting third downs. We had that offsides on a 4th down that hurt us. and we just got to settle down. We're not playing the way we need to be.
Offensively, 154 yards on the ground so far. What do you like about your running game, and evaluate your offense?
Well, we're staying on schedule. I think the O-line's playing well. The cuts are happening on their side of the line of scrimmage. And right now, we've been very efficient on offense. We got to tighten down on D.
Thanks so much, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach Clausen staying on schedule. So are we. With a 24-7 halftime score, this group's going to keep you on schedule. It's Kelsey Riggs, EJ Manuel, Mark Richt after the break there in studio to break down the first half and more. So stay tuned, everybody. We welcome you back to ACC Network Football, presented by Dr. Pepper. Here at Truist Field in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, Wake Forest on top of Campbell, 24-7. Mike Morgan alongside EMAC making his analyst debut.
Come
on.
on.
Doing a fine job so far, if I say so myself. Wake Forest on the ground, EMAC, doing a great job so far. There's a lot of teams in college football that have a great running back. They might have two with that tandem.
Yeah, and these guys are absolutely special, doing whatever they want in the run game. You see Christian Beal-Smith here really kind of being the sledgehammer, right? He's averaging about 6.5 yards per carry and getting in the end zone, but he's just taking his time. He's patient, letting the play unfold. You see him in the Wildcat there. Then in Kenneth Walker III, man, he's so fast, so shifty, a very special guy, averaging 10 yards a rush. Can't be more special than that. You see the juke in there, and again, a little bit of a stiff arm, but hey, let's just use our speed, wait for the hole to open up, and then burst onto the scene. These guys are doing whatever they want in the run game, Mike.
You see the overall stats, 154 on the ground for Wake Forest. That really was the story. They were able to overcome a couple of early turnovers in the game. And they'll have the football first here in the second half. Donovan Green on the return as we say hello once again to Lauren.
Guys, Coach Minter came out of the locker room pretty positive about his team's performance. Some missed opportunities, especially there in the red zone. He said this game could be a lot closer, but of course, he loves the poise from his quarterback, Haj Malik Williams. He says no stage is too big for him. His confidence and poise is showing out here tonight. He told his guys in the locker room, we've just got to finish. We've got 30 minutes left to play in this football game, and then we have 300 days until we play our next football game. Let's finish.
That's right. This is the fourth and final one. They have elected not to participate in the spring with the rest of their conference mates in the Big South. Kennesaw State, by the way, projected to win that conference this year from the state of Georgia as Kenneth Walker gets his first carry of the second half. With tempo on 2nd and 12. Across the field and complete. Tough throw to A.T. Perry.
And that was close right there. A.T. was trying to get out of bounds a little too quick. He almost stepped out, but great job making the play. Again, another long throw from Sam Hartman.
Sam Hartman, a redshirt sophomore from Charlotte, Oceanside, South Carolina is where he went to high school. Marin on the reception, and that'll move the chains. Taylor Marin has been a great find for this Wake Forest program. Great slot receiver, came in with 12 catches on the year.
And he's one of Sam's favorite targets. You see the shiftiness there. Great job after the catch.
Hartman missiles one complete. You get an idea the zip he puts on the football on some of these throws to the far side.
He is an absolute gunslinger, and really when I say that, some people think he throws in tight windows, turnover heavy. 0 turnovers so far this season, so he just throws it in there like a rocket.
Impressive young man when we had a chance to chat with him earlier in the week. 9 for 12 throwing the ball. Kenneth Walker continues to tack on his total running the ball.
You see the patience again from Walker, allowing the play to develop. 2nd down and short there, picking up the 1st down, but the patience has been something that I've really noticed from Kenneth Walker today.
Trips to the near side, that's where Hartman's looking. Coxon fires and puts that one right on the money between the 8 and the 9 of A.T. Perry.
This is the A.T. Perry show to start off the half. Great plays early. You see it here on the replay. Taking his time, great pocket, and a great ball. Get in on the sideline there.
Wake Forest marching right down the field on this drive. Have a delayed handoff And breaking tackles, busting out once again is Kenneth Walker. He is hard to bring down.
Mike, this guy is so special. Again, you see that slow RPO play. They decided to run it there. Look how slow this play develops. He says, hey, just take off with it. Allows the play to open up. Just shedding arm tag. This guy isn't some huge rocked up 230 running back, but he's so hard to bring down. Special player.
Gave a little stiff arm to cap off that run. First down over the middle, touchdown, Taylor Morin.
And that's a fantastic play there. Again, you see Sam just waiting in the target, waiting for his guy to come across the middle. Great pocket by that offensive line. Throws a strike. Easy slant. Great pitch and catch.
Second touchdown reception for the redshirt freshman. Now that is an impressive drive to start the half.
And that's what you want to see from a Wake Forest team, to come out, really do well. You get your guy in space. He gets the touchdown. 31 points for Wake Forest.
An impressive 8 plays, 78-yard drive to start off the second half for the Deacons, who find the end zone for the 4th time tonight. 31-7 our score. Whatever Dave Clawson said at halftime, it resonated quickly. Rare short kick that'll be returnable for Kelsey. Weaving near side, and Kelsey picking his way through tacklers. Kelsey spins his way to the 30-yard line. EMAC, very impressive opening drive for Wake Forest.
Yeah, and this is what you expect to see from a Wake Forest team. You get in halftime and just keep rolling. A great corner route there to 89 on the side, and then just watch the patience right here from Kenneth Walker. Allows the play to happen. Arm tackles, you're not going to get them. And then how about hitting your favorite target right over the middle with the slant route? Morin for the touchdown.
You see the numbers on Sam Hartman on that drive. He was perfect, zipping the ball to one target after another. You can't emphasize enough what this offense might have looked like if they had Surratt, a first-round draft pick at wide receiver. Sam Hartman says he still keeps up with his former teammate, and really, if it wasn't for COVID, Surratt's back out here. I mean, part of that decision was draft, but much of it was truly a health concern.
No, there was no doubt about it. And just talking with Sage, preseason and even going into the summer, he just said there was concerns, and he didn't want to risk that. So for foregoing this season, just was the best decision for him and his family.
And that's been, of course, a part of college football in 2020, the opt-outs. Deep downfield and incomplete. That was intended for the tight end, Jordan Goko. Lauren, what do you have?
Coach Clawson said there is zero bad blood with the team and Sage Surratt with his decision to opt out. He's still going to graduate. He has a bright future in the NFL. He's worked hard to rehab that shoulder and get back to 100%. So that was a big part of the decision as well. And the team doesn't fault him for wanting to play it safe with the uncertainty of the season and focus on his dream of playing at the next level. Because when he decided to opt out, Coach Clawson said really at that point, things were 50-50 on whether or not they'd even have a season.
That's absolutely right. Throw. Oh, it's a dangerous throw, and it's picked off at the 45. High stepping down the sideline, and a touchdown for Zion Keith. What a game for the redshirt sophomore.
And this is a little bit of that trade-off, right, Mike? You have such an athletic quarterback that can extend plays. He thought he had a big completion there, and it's going the other way for points. Again, this is where you get more experience as a QB. Just throw that ball away, because this is just stealing right here if you're Wake Forest. The easy play, putting some moves on the big fella, getting in for the touchdown.
Did anybody ever high-step Eric McLean in a game?
Man, I would have knocked them. Oh, man. You don't know. You get with some of those athletes, it gets dangerous.
Oh, goodness. I don't high-step guys that weigh over 300 pounds. As a rule of thumb, that's just me. The extra point makes it a 38-7 lead. A throw that Malik Williams would like to put in his back pocket. And a pick for Zion Keith, who continues his great night here in Winston-Salem. Oh, we take you back to the Wayback Machine. How about the Orange Bowl, January 2nd, 1984, Nebraska and Miami for the national title. Nebraska down by 7. There's 6. Do they go for 1? No. They go for 2 in the win. Remember, there's no overtime back then. Deflected away, and Miami wins the national title. Nebraska, Heartbreak Hotel, and of course that was Tom Osborne, the head coach for one Mike Minter. Fast forward to this year, week 1, going for 2 in the win against Georgia Southern. Mike Minter says, I remember what Tom Osborne did. I'm going to do the same. Let's go for the dub. The throw sails high. A chance at history. That would have been the first victory over an FBS school for the fighting Camels of Campbell. And Mike Minter told us earlier this week, he said, I had no doubt I was going for 2 right then and there. That's what I learned from Tom Osborne. That's the way we play.
And you know, they probably had discussed that as a team, as a unit going on that drive, saying, we're going for the win here, boys. We're not trying to tie it up going to overtime. We want to do it right now. You know, as a player, you never fault your coach. You always feel like you can go for it. Tough break there. Guy was open, just missed it.
Of course, that's the closest they've come. They've played 4 FBS opponents. This is the first one from a Power 5 conference. And Campbell getting a lot of national exposure and love this year. Williams, nobody there, not on the same page with his receiving core on that play.
Yeah, and you have to think maybe he's just trying to throw it away right there. Again, when you don't have anybody open, would love to see him use his legs and create. That's what he's so special at doing. But smart play, live to go for 2nd down.
You know what else is interesting about that game for Mike Minter and company? That game was on ESPNU. Remember, so many college football conferences had not begun yet, so this was their chance to get on national TV. First time that has happened. And to give you an idea what kind of effect it had, I'll tell you in just a moment. First 2nd down and 10. Williams sets up the screen, and that's another dangerous throw. And right now, Malik Williams looking a little bit rattled.
Yeah, he is, Mike. And again, when you're doing these blind throws or cross formation throws, it's really tough, especially when you have that big offensive line in front of you. It's hard to see if there's anybody out there. Lucky that wasn't another pick 6.
So after they play that game, Campbell's website, a lot of people not knowing who Campbell was, looking up, their website traffic went up 863%. That's what playing on national television for one of the ESPN networks does for your school.
That's what Coach told us. That's the reason for he wanted to play these opponents, was to get that branding up, and he's done it.
Pretty cool logo too, I might say, the fighting Camels. I'm kind of digging any logo that's got a camel on it.
Yeah, and you see here a tough misdirection play, too much speed, too much power. Wake Forest is going to sniff that out, and it's just, that drive was all backwards. Not a good start for the Camels.
Just to pay it off on Mike Minter and his relationship with Tom Osborne, says he talks to the coach on a weekly basis, always tries to get some insight, some feedback, still learning as a young head coach. Pretty good guy to learn from when you're talking about a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, but and no matter how old we get, how successful we get as players, that's still always our coach, and we're still always going to want and seek their advice.
Campbell will down it at the 24. Wake Forest football when we come back. Every Saturday morning, it's The Huddle with Jordan Burnett. My partner here, Eric McLean, the soon-to-be famous C-Mac. EJ Manuel, Mark Rick, get you ready for ACC football. The whole slate of games will be previewed, and they'll keep you updated on all things ACC football. That's tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time right here on the ACC network. As Hartman throws his first incompletion of the half. But speaking of Sam Hartman, put on a lot of weight, gotten stronger, much more mature. You look at the top quarterbacks in the league so far this season. We all know about Trevor Lawrence. De'Ara King, of course, the transfer from Houston, has given Miami's offense some life. And Sam Hartman certainly seems like he's got a promising future here.
Yeah, anytime you're on a graphic with those two dudes, you're feeling pretty good, and he's only helping that QBR tonight. He's been playing lights out. But yeah, anytime you're mentioned with King and Lawrence, you've got to be feeling pretty good as a quarterback.
What a difference a quarterback makes in Coral Gables. That is an entirely different looking offense. Hartman shows he can run. Lowers the shoulder, takes a hit. I'm not sure if the coaching staff wants to see that. Took on Jonathan Jones, the safety.
Come on, Sam, showing a little bit of the wheels there, being patient in the pocket, hoping to see something open up, and then just scrambling. That's what you love to see from a guy who is patient, sees the open lane and takes it. Shows that extra weight at the end of the play there.
Back to the ground game, and a big hole left side for Beal Smith.
And something a little bit different that we haven't seen this game. You see Sam kind of boxing out that defender. It's such a little idiosyncrasy of their offense here, but it works so well as a defensive end. You don't know, can I hit this quarterback in the back? And so it slows you down enough to where you can make a big play.
You were fascinated with that in film this week, the way they do that. It's pretty
fascinated, unique. Baffled, I don't know what you want to call it.
A little bit of both is a good thing at times. Beal Smith out to the 49. Lauren with more on Sam Hartman.
Yeah, you talk about his development. Offensive coordinator Warren Ruggiero said that Sam Hartman was a completely different player in the pocket against Clemson this year. His ability to manage the pocket against really good defensive lines has really come a long way. And keep in mind, as a freshman, he was really thrown into the fire when the starting QB was suspended. He had the athletic ability, but it just wasn't enough to push games over the edge against opponents that they should have beat. So Ruggiero now sees a quarterback that can actually compete and win here in the ACC.
On the ground again, getting to the edge, then weaving his way through two defenders. Christian Beal Smith and Kenneth Walker should have a dance-off. They both are showing off some moves tonight.
So athletic, getting after it. You see an incredible run. Again, just the patience of the running back. Allow your blockers, get out in space, make a great move, two great moves, get upfield in a hurry.
Not much there on the left side this time. Jonathan Jones on the tackle for Campbell. Going back to Sam Hartman, I mentioned he's from the Carolinas. Who would have known he grew up a Michigan fan? His mother was a huge Michigan fan. The first college football game he ever saw in person was at the Big House.
And he said, man, what an experience, but then he wanted to be sure to let us know he's very happy where he is, and he made the greatest decision that he could for himself and his family, and man, it's fun to see him put on a show tonight so far.
And Wake Forest is very happy. He's fallen in love with Winston-Salem. Hartman with time, rifles one over the middle, complete, breaking a tackle at the 15. Jaquari Roberson.
Getting his other favorite target involved here. Again, you've said it over and over again, Mike, the force that he's throwing this ball with is absolutely tremendous. And for his receivers to be ready, because a lot of times, you're running wide open, you're not expecting that. But I guess that's what practice is for.
Yeah, we are way up here in the press box, and you can still see the steam coming off some of his throws. Jitterbugging his way for a modest gain as Beal Smith again turning what appeared to be nothing into something.
And that's what you love and really expect from your running backs, to be able to create, be able to make something out of nothing, as you just alluded there to, Mike, because that's when you know you got a special one. Our offensive line, taking the stress and saying, hey, we don't have to be perfect every single play. You see the great run there, pick up about 5.5.
Beal Smith, 18 carries, 124 yards. Picking up where Kenneth Walker left off last week against NC State. Here he is again, banging, plowing ahead to the 4-yard line.
And again, where something looks like there's nothing there, he picks up 2.5 yards. Just keep turning those feet. We've seen so many times tonight where arm tackling has not been able to bring these running backs down.
Another impressive drive in this third quarter for Wake Forest. On third down, Beal Smith straight ahead, fires through the hole, and touchdown.
Right there, Mike, I was pointing out there was single high coverage, but hey, when you have a sledgehammer, you use your sledgehammer and you get in the easy way.
What a night for Christian Beal Smith.
And that's what you love to see. Again, Wake Forest wanting to get that running game going. You saw what they were able to do a week ago against NC State, 2 weeks now with the run game. just felt like they missed a couple of opportunities. They've hit those tonight to keep drives alive.
45-7 as Wake Forest has broken this game to a commanding lead here with 6:28 to go in the third quarter. A 10-play drive, 76 yards, 4:01 off the clock. And you see what that dynamic duo of Beal Smith and Walker have done. A $130 for Beal Smith, a $105 for Kenneth Walker.
And you see again the just what they're doing on the ground. 130, 105. He said, hey, you know, Christian, I had 3 touchdowns last week. Why don't you go ahead and you can be the guy that gets in the end zone. But what 2 special players, that 1-2 punch that Wake Forest has. Again, we alluded to it earlier, Mike. It's a little bit of an underrated duo in this league right now. But hey, they're kind of welcoming each other, saying, hey, we're pretty good here too.
And it's an offensive line that lost a couple of guys to the NFL. You've got your starting left tackle, Zach Tom, is the center from a year ago, a transition he was not exactly overly exuberant about making. And you can relate to that. That's not an easy transition to make.
It's not at all, and especially when you've played a particular position your entire career, having never played left tackle, it's tough, and it's a lot different. A lot of people just say, hey, you know, it's offensive line, go play all 5 spots. Right. That is not the case, and when you're on the island by yourself, it's really tough.
Wake Forest has been good on the ground. Campbell has been bad in the way of ball security. 3 turnovers have really changed this game.
It absolutely has. And again, when you're a team like this, you've got a little bit of life, a little bit of hope. When you give the ball away, it completely sucks away that motivation, any momentum that you had. It's going to be really tough. Interested to see how Hajj-Malik Williams responds here in the Campbell offense.
See the fumble, 2 interceptions, the missed field goal on the opening drive where they marched down the field inside the 10. Let's see if Williams can get his poise back. Had a rough ending to the first half and a rough start to the third quarter. Got a Camel down on the ground.
Yeah, and that's tough. This is what you hate to see again. The score the way it is. Guy still battling tough. And an injury is not something you want to see.
Cannot make out the number from here. I thought it was one of the offensive linemen at first sight. And that is 67, Ezekiel Williams, the right guard. And good news there, he's walking off.
Maybe just need a little breather.
Yep. Who could blame him? You know, this is, and you played a few of these when you were at Clemson. Obviously, you had a few games against some of the 1AA, some of the smaller schools, and eventually that size advantage, the depth advantage starts to take on its toll.
It absolutely does. That wear and tear that you see throughout the entire game, just having those athletes. I mean, imagine hitting Boogie or Boogie hitting you over and over again. It gets tired real quick. But again, the fight is still there. These guys are doing really well, battling. And that was the key from Coach Minter. He said, I don't care what the situation is, what the score looks like. I want to put on the film and see no loafs and see our guys giving great effort.
You're going to look at Nick Anderson, the freshman who came in for Luke Masterson, who went down with what appeared to be a serious injury. Has not come back. 3rd down and 1. Up the middle and a first down. And that's Deontay Jackson. We saw some of him in the first half. He was a linebacker, recruited as a linebacker, played at Campbell as a linebacker. Coach Minter said, yeah, we might give him a shot at running back, but I don't think so. Well, he got a shot.
He's got some speed, and he's been in since the first series, and he's done well. When you get that opportunity, you love to see young guys, inexperienced guys, making the most when they get in and get some playing time.
On first down, Williams, far sideline, turning around on kind of almost a fade stop play was Jalen Kelsey. Nice grab.
That is a fantastic back shoulder ball you see there from the quarterback. Fantastic placement, and then just to be on the same page with your wide receiver, that was a great play. You see here, good protection. Put it right on that. It's unstoppable.
Yeah.
When you have a receiver that good and a quarterback who can put it there, it's stealing all night long.
That route became in vogue about 15 years ago, and you're right, nobody's been able to stop it yet. That time overshoots his target. He had a receiver downfield. That was Kelsey who had a step on his defender.
Yeah, he was open there, and I know Williams is going to want that one back. But something to pay attention here late with different guys rotating in for Wake Forest. A big emphasis, stopping the run, stopping the quarterback run, and not giving up big plays on the outside.
On second down. Slant. Penalty. And that'll be a first down. Kalen Carson was draped all over the intended target.
Yeah, he was a little bit early there. And again, with that RPO, it's tough. You know, as a wide receiver, is he blocking you? Is he going on a slant pattern? And that's exactly what happened. Defensive back got caught up there.
Defensive pass interference, number 29. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Carson, one of the true freshmen we've seen on that defense for Wake Forest tonight.
And again, you see just the DB draped all over him a little bit early. My dad was a defensive back. He'd say, no, that was clean. Come on, Dad. Love you.
They go empty on first down.
Oh,
the whole
weird play
offensive lineman drops down, and now they got a convoy.
Look at that.
And this is going to be a touchdown. What a play call by Campbell.
You're going to see that on Sports Center Top 10, not Top 10. What a play that was. Great design. Guys don't even know what they're doing.
I thought I've seen it all. I've never seen that at any level of football.
Watch these offensive linemen here. Just, you know, take a little break. Just kidding. We're going to throw it for a house call to our quarterback. Haj Williams showing his diversity, showing what he can do in the passing, receiving game. Hey, I'll tell you what, scouts are going to remember that play.
What in the world was that? Have you ever
play call? That's
have you
what
ever
it
seen
was.
a play where the entire offensive line just goes down like a push-up?
I've seen it where they let him go. I haven't seen it where everybody's doing the worm and then gets out to the right side.
That is fantastic. This is why you keep watching a game, even if it gets a little out of hand. Chances are you've never seen this before. You might not see it again.
And again, great job by all the offensive linemen selling it. 21 with the beautiful ball to his quarterback. And he's just taking a little trot into the end zone. Great job by the Camels.
Mason Donaldson with a touchdown pass caught by the quarterback, Williams.
And that's his second one, right? He caught a pass earlier, a fantastic catch right about that same side of the field, but in the corner of the end zone. He's feeling really good. Check him out. Go ahead, big man.
Hey, we had a conversation with the offensive coordinator, Nick Grimes. He gave us a little bit of a scouting report. He didn't tell us he was going to do anything like that.
He could have let us in, right?
Yeah,
we could have been prepared. We could have had it drawn up to show you exactly what happened.
Right. I mean, I'd love to know what they call that play. When they're in the huddle.
Fake, lay down, take a nap. Hodge scores a touchdown on the right.
There's Coach Grimes.
Dialing it up.
Oh, that is a thing of beauty. Yeah, that's one where you go home tonight. I mean, look, we've talked about this before. In a lot of ways, Campbell is playing with house money. They're on a national stage 4 consecutive weeks playing FBS opponents. There's a little bit of a payday involved as well, to be completely forthright. And a lot of people who never heard of Campbell football are finding out about it, and they just made a Sports Center Top 10 highlight. Wake Forest trying to return the highlight. This is the speedster, Donovan Green, all the way to the house.
And it's so good to see a wide receiver like this. We wanted to see him make plays on the outside. Hey, go do it in special teams too and really do what you can for your team. An amazing run by there. 6'2", 198 with some wheels, Mike.
96 yards. And once he gets past that initial wave, there's no question nobody's going to catch him.
You know, for some reason, Coach Sweeney never let me return kickoffs. But I got to tell you, it looked just like that.
Really?
He would have.
You always struck me as a burner. A 330-pound burner back in the day. Maybe Nick Grimes would have put you in for a couple of plays in wideout.
Should have went to Campbell. Should have went to Campbell.
Famous last words. Wake Forest can do no wrong here in this second half. 52-14, our score. Tomorrow, great triple header for you here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. NC State taking on that vaunted Pittsburgh defense. Virginia Tech and Duke at 4 o'clock. And of course, Virginia and Clemson in the nightcap, presented by Geico. How about Virginia Tech the other day? You find out they lose about a third of their roster, and they still go out and win the game.
Yeah, man, that offensive line looked fantastic. They did whatever they wanted up front. Right about 8 yards a run, looked really good.
And you look at the Clemson Tigers, who of course will have that primetime matchup against Virginia, and that's what's on the line, a chance to make it 35 in a row, and that would tie the longest regular season win streak since 2005, surpassing Alabama. They already eclipsed what Florida State did back in the glory years of Jimbo Fisher.
They're just on another level right now, Mike. Really, 2015, my senior year there, where we went on to the national championship, lost a heartbreaker. Ever since then, they've been on another planet, recruiting, domination on the field. The Tigers have got it figured out right now, and it doesn't look like they're slowing down.
It was the first Wake Forest kickoff return for a touchdown since 2007.
Wow.
From the 5. Brought down at the 22-yard line. Campbell will take over. First down and 10. 4:06 to go. Third quarter of play. Lawrence Sisler on the sidelines. Eric back lane. Emack making his analyst debut and doing a fine job, I might add. I'm Mike Morgan. Great to be with you. Little Friday Night Lights action coming to you on the ACC Network. Wake Forest looking for their first win of the year. Lost a heartbreaker last week, 45-42 to NC State. Opened up the season with Clemson, and again, that was not going to be the MO of the schedule originally. They were going to kind of ease into it like they normally do, but with COVID, with the changes, they have had a tough start to the year thus far. Nifty running there by Williams. Pickup of 8.
And Mike, you're absolutely right. When a team like Wake Forest, who coach said, we are a developmental program. I know you guys have heard us say that over and over again, but they take value in bringing their players in, redshirting them, getting them in the weight room, understanding the culture of what they do, and then playing.
Right.
Right now in this landscape, they have not been able to do that with everybody. And he said the biggest thing during this crisis, this pandemic, was not being able to be with our guys, not being able to get that face-to-face to develop them, get them with the weight room staff. That he said it just has really set them back, and the biggest thing for them is just to play. Just go out there and get more games under our belt. So it's great to see their offense put up 52 and really the defense make strides.
And the way he put it, he says, we're still playing catch-up. I mean, we really, he was one of the coaches that thought there was a distinct chance that they were simply not going to play. And the ACC, like a lot of other conferences, had to make a tough decision. Now everybody is playing, of course. How quickly the tide has turned in that regard. Lauren, what do you have?
Yeah, you know, every college football team has been talking about losing those reps in the spring and the summer. Limited time on the field, but DC Lyle Hemphill says the loss of leadership is perhaps the most challenging byproduct of not working out together for several months, and that's on both sides of the football. He thinks they are turning the corner, but it's been about 6 weeks later than they would have hoped for.
Lauren, thank you. Definitely an unorthodox year for all of college football, but you know what? My motto for me, Eric, has been embrace the weird. I'm just so glad that we've got it, that you and I are here calling a game, that people at home can watch football every week. And we're going to have a playoff. We're going to have conference champions, and it's a thing of beauty to just have football.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And a guy on this defense especially who has embraced that and really is on the verge of becoming that leader. You know, you would hope to see it in camp and in spring training, but he didn't get the chance, is Boogie Basham. And again, he said the biggest challenge for him personally, similar to these coaches, was not being able to be around his team and not be able to be with these young guys, to teach them the ropes. They've got a lot of young talent on that defensive line, kind of on that third, fourth team. that, you know, he embraces that. He wants to be that leader, and that just was taken away from him.
3rd down and 2 here for Campbell. Coach Clausen looking on. And 1st down yardage behind the left side of that offensive line. And the other thing about this season, I think a lot of people took the tack that, well, it's 2020, anything can happen. College football will be more up in the air than ever. I disagree with that. I think that the power teams, the ones that are the deepest and the ones that have the teams, the players that are not developmental, so to speak, they're established, they're even more strong in 2020. I think it's going to be harder to have a change at the top.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. It's almost that, you know, spreading out. You know, there's a widened gap there almost, if you will, because of these teams that didn't have the time to develop. And you got teams like Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State eventually when they start playing that just have plug-and-play guys, and it's just so much different at that level. So you're absolutely right. It definitely changes the landscape in the fact that the gap is widening.
Yeah, and if you're Clemson, if you're Alabama, if you're Ohio State, and let's say you do get one of your players or a couple players do get hit with COVID, you are more prepared to play without some star players compared to the next level programs.
You absolutely are. And again, those 3 programs we keep mentioning, one 5-star goes down, another 5-star enters.
It's a 5-star tackle in the backfield for Wake Forest. As one of the backups for the Deacons, number 30, that's just Sheen Davis, a freshman defensive lineman.
Something you want to pay attention to right here, talking to the defensive coordinator of Wake Forest, we need more from Boogie Basham on 3rd down, and this is it right here, 3rd and 10. Boogie hasn't played in a little bit. He's back on the field. They're kind of in their dime rabbit package.
He's boogieing.
Exactly, and it looks like we're going to quarter here, but look for it when we come back.
I want to know what you think about what the right tackle is thinking on that next play when he's got to face Boogie. Yeah, exactly. Domination in the 3rd quarter for the Demon Deacons. They lead it big.
Yeah, take a look at the Wake Forest helmets there. You can see they're honoring Breonna Taylor with the sticker decal, also Black Lives Matter on the back of the helmet. In week 1, they had the raised fist, and week 2 in racism. So each week they're going to address social justice in the best way they can. And certainly it's been a conversation, even on the other side of the football. I loved what Coach Minter told us, detailing with the guys the perspective, sharing with us on preparing his players for life when life isn't even hitting you yet. For 8 years, he has been doing that there at Campbell, preparing guys for situations that haven't even happened. And those conversations have continued throughout this season, and the coaches and players work to unite and share their perspective from their own unique lens.
Lauren, great stuff, and of course a familiar sight and storyline throughout college football this season, not to mention professional sports. Seems like everything is going on right now. It is just a cavalcade of sporting events. The NFL, college football, Major League Baseball going on. And felt like we had something like 7 games on the other day on the ESPN networks for baseball.
There's no play. No play. 3rd down. 3rd down.
Mike Minter perhaps showing a little bit of frustration here in this 2nd half. Campbell really was hanging tight with Wake Forest in the 1st half. Had a couple of good drives, good plays defensively. A little bit unraveled in the 3rd quarter. 3rd and 15, 3-man rush. Williams flushed out of the pocket. Another dangerous throw, and that is caught. Wow, great throw and an even better catch by Austin Height.
Mike, we've been talking about it all night. When you have a quarterback that can extend plays the way that Williams can, it just opens up so many more things in the passing game, especially with a struggling defensive backfield with injuries and other things like that. Fantastic read, great job staying patient, not getting worried. You got Boogie chasing you as fast as he can. Great pass and catch there.
And keep in mind, Williams is only a sophomore. They're not playing in the spring, so the next time he'll be out there will be in the fall of 2021. And Campbell will gain a lot of confidence, experience, a great chance for this program to move forward and compete in the Big South next season.
And he is such a special player. Really, this game, Mike, he has shown me so much with his arm. I really expected to see a lot more with his legs, as we do right here on cue, of course. But the throws and the passes that he's making, ball comes out.
And then a late penalty flag, 2 of them. They are calling it a fumble.
Haj, I'm going to take that one, man. That's my fault. I started talking too good. I apologize, man. That's all me.
That was a great run, and then just coughed it up.
The rolling on the field is a fumble and recovered by Wake Forest. After the play, personal foul, late hit number 6 against Campbell. 15-yard penalty will be added to the dead ball spot. Wake Forest ball, first down.
That's obviously a frustration penalty on Williams, upset that he fumbled the ball and then commits the late hit. This ball must have come out late, at least from our angle. It didn't seem like it was a fumble at first glance.
Yeah, that's a tough play again. You're trying to extend the play. That ball just hanging loose there, and the DB does a great job of punching it out.
Oh yeah,
that's a fumble.
Jaquez Williams is the guy who jarred it loose.
And again, just the frustration, clearly down. That's rough.
That's a good way to get ejected if you're not careful.
And you know what, Mike? I'm going to continue that thought because he deserves it. He's played well. And just, again, the throws that I've seen Williams make tonight, was not expecting.
Right.
Was not expecting. So his growth, his development, he has an NFL Hall of Famer for his team. You know, just continue to develop and continue to buy in. He's going to be just fine.
Yeah, airmailed a few vertical ones, but then made the sensational throw on multiple occasions. Michael Kern is now in at quarterback for Wake Forest. We might close the book on Sam Hartman, who played well tonight, but with this game pretty much in hand, a chance to get some of the backups in. That was Justice Ellison on the carry, a freshman running back.
Another true freshman, Mike, that you might not be seeing outside of these circumstances. But again, when you have a game like this, Coach said it over and over again, reps. We need game reps.
A big rep right here, and a big play. And is number 81, Keyshawn Williams, another freshman, buried deep on the depth chart. We're going like 5th, 6th, 7th string right now, partner.
Hey, guys,
welcome to the big leagues.
Right. Guys getting their opportunity, making the most of it. That's what you want to see. Again, when you get your chance, go and ball out.
It's a backup-heavy drive. As Ellison, the freshman tailback, gobbles up a couple.
Number 14, Justice Ellison. The tackle made by number 11, Ray Miller, along with number 97, Brevin Allen.
On second down, quick toss, completed the 40, 35, and still running hard is Keyshawn Williams all the way to another first down.
They'll get you another one, Keyshawn, again, getting his opportunity. Freshman in here, doing a great job. His offensive linemen, they got out there. They were excited to run. And you see it here, just slow developing screen play, bumping into his own guys. Great play, though.
Now, I know you were part of a few routes in your day at Clemson. Now here's my question. You're out there, the game is seemingly in hand, you're an O-lineman. Do you want to go ahead and rest, or do you want to stay out there and pour some more sugar on your opponent?
Take me out, Coach. I want to put on my baseball cap. I want to cheer on these young guys who have done an exceptional job, have earned the right to play. And that's what I'm looking right now on this sideline. Who's sitting down, not paying attention, which really the whole team looks like on the offense. They're standing up, celebrating, excited for their guys' opportunity right now.
He's not just versatile, he's also unselfish. He is Eric McLean.
And here you see the guys. Everybody's paying attention, up close to the sideline, staying in that legal box. Again, just celebrating your guys because you grind so much in practice and you're the scout team. Now when you get your chance, you want to see them going in there and shine.
Sam Hartman shining tonight. Likely done for the rest of this ball game. Michael Kern on first and goal. One-on-one. outside, and in and out of the hands of Nolan Gruel, another freshman. He's out of Cornelius, North Carolina.
And Mike, last year, 10 out of 10 times, anytime you see single high coverage, man-to-man in this red zone, they're throwing the fade. They're throwing the back shoulder or just throwing it straight over the top to big Sage Surratt and Scotty Washington. Those guys are gone, but you see they're still trying to execute at that level.
Do you go back to the well here?
He's got the look. He's got man-to-man. Safety's rolling down to cover that guy in the flats.
Go to the ground game instead, breaking tackles and plowing ahead for the touchdown is the freshman Ellison.
What else would you expect? The ground game has been so good all night long. A little 7.5, 6-yard scamper there for a touchdown. Celebrating with your teammates. This is the part you love to see, guy. There's Kenneth Walker almost getting knocked out. Happy for his guy, but a great power here. Pulling both guys, get out in front, and just be patient. That's what has been so impressive, Mike. All three running backs who have played tonight have allowed the play to open up. Let your guys get in front. That's what they're out there for. A lot of times you see with younger running backs, you know, they rely on their speed. They just want to go, go, go. It's great to see that patience from such a young player.
The ground game continues to flourish tonight for the Demon Deacons. Already 2 100-yard rushers, and now the freshman.
And it's just special. You see him getting in there, taking his time. Big touchdown, 59 points for the Deacons.
On Sunday, it's time for a women's field hockey doubleheader. Starting at noon Eastern time, UNC Duke, then Boston College Louisville, plus a women's soccer doubleheader. Rounding out our Sunday best, number 10 Virginia hosting Miami, number 3 Clemson taking on number 11 Duke right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. He is E-back. Lawrence Sisler on the sideline. Mike Morgan with you here in Winston-Salem. Demon Deacons have been dominant in this second half and are well on their way to their first win of 2020. What about moving forward? I mean, you take on Clemson in week 1. Obviously, that's a tough challenge for anybody. You lose a heartbreaker on the road to NC State in week 2. You get some confidence here, and then you got a number of conference games late. What can we expect out of Wake the rest of the way?
You know, this game was what they absolutely needed. Again, just to see different things, guys getting more confidence, being able to play. Again, I can't stress enough how important for this team live action is. It's such a thing that they need. Again, the developmental program. So moving forward, you know, you gotta be excited, but again, understand that you're gonna keep getting better as the season goes on.
Wiley Hartley, the freshman, now in at quarterback for the Camels. How about that? Been on the bench for 3 hours and he missiles one complete for the first down.
I tell you what, Coach Mentor's told us that he wants to see these guys finish the job. This is their championship game. And the biggest thing that he said to us over and over again, I don't care what the scoreboard looks like, Mike. I want to turn on the tape. I want to see great effort and execution. And to be quite frank, that's what we've seen today. So if you're the Camels and Coach Mentor, you're feeling really good about this game. I understand that they're getting blown out, but there's a lot of good things that this team is going to have from these first 4 games that they've played.
And I think Mike Minter has the program going in the right direction. And now they've got exposure. He's got a whole lot of NFL experience he can bring to the table. Impressed with his coordinators who we spoke to earlier in the week as well. Lauren?
There are some benefits to this condensed 4-game season in many ways. They've had the opportunity to play a lot of young guys, get reps in for players that wouldn't likely have seen the field, and they've also had the opportunity to really sit down after this football game and study film. And the coaches said, you know, typically it's a condensed format, not just the good, the bad, and the ugly. So they're able to sit down and watch complete game film, and that's something the staff intends to do with the extra time they're going to have after the season's over.
The players actually took it to a vote whether or not to play these 4 games in the fall or participate in a whole conference slate in the spring. And the players decided, you know what, let's go ahead. We want to play now. We're chomping at the bit. We got a chance to play some bigger name schools. Let's give it a shot and let's go for it.
Yeah, why not? And again, there's nothing to lose. You retain that year of eligibility. Why not get on a national stage and a big brand and just increase who you are as a school?
Dangerous high throw there, falls incomplete. Again, there's 127 FCS schools, and fewer than a dozen are playing in the fall, so it's an unorthodox decision. Other teams at the FCS level had a choice to make, and Campbell made this one. Program that was restarted in 2008. They were out of the game for 57 years before they started the program back up, and it's only over the last couple of years where they've actually had scholarships to dole out. For most of those years at the beginning, when Mike Minter was here, all walk-ons, and now they finally have some scholarship money. It's been an interesting timeline building this program for the Fighting Camels. You see, in 2008, again, after 58 years, they brought football back. And then 10 seasons in the Pioneer League as a non-scholarship program. 2018, they joined the Big South, a quality FCS conference, same league that Coastal Carolina used to be a part of. And now they're running with the same type of standards and things to offer as the rest of the FCS. Good pass. And it jarred loose on the hit. Otherwise, you would have had a fine hook up there. Tyreek Hardiman with a hard shot on Bryant Barr.
And you see here, great pocket, throws a strike. Just a better play by the defensive back. But Mike, just to piggyback on your thoughts there and comments on Coach Minter, I mean, just listening to him, you and I and Lauren were in those coaches meetings, and man, I was ready to put on a Campbell uniform and go play. I mean, he got us so jacked up, and it's going to be very fun to watch his career wherever he ends up, because you just got to know that he's going to go somewhere on a big-time program, and once he does that, look out.
44-yard punt. And we will come back for the final 8:21 from Winston-Salem. All Demon Deacons tonight.
ACC Network Football is presented by Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville.
Wake Forest striking up the band, and earlier today, our own Anna Connolly was striking up some analysis. Former volleyball star at Syracuse, now one of our fine analysts on volleyball coverage. And Anna Connolly has an interest in this game because her brother is a freshman tight end on the squad. That is Jack Connolly, who we might see later on tonight. One of the many freshmen getting action in this ball game. So Anna doing work behind the mic and now cheering on her brother, hopefully on the gridiron in this fourth quarter. It all comes back eventually. It all just boomerangs back, Emac. We can segue into virtually anything.
No doubt, no doubt. And it's great, right, to see these young players get an opportunity. Again, you fight so hard in practice. A defender that we might see for Campbell there, Jack Wilkes, linebacker number 12 from Charlotte, was a great high school player. Can't wait to watch his development here at Campbell.
This is Will Drawdy. He's actually got some years on him, a redshirt junior out of Easley, South Carolina.
The old upstate, come on.
Oh, look at you.
Spent a little time in the Midlands, didn't you?
I sure did.
Great state of South Carolina.
The capital city of Columbia. In fact, I was working a few games around those parts when you were pancaking defenders at Clemson, bringing home rings. Nice tackle near the line of scrimmage. Justice Ellison on the carry for Wake Forest. I got to ask you, how have you felt here your first time in the booth on a broadcast? We know you from studio fame on the ACC network.
I'll tell you what, man, you make it easy.
I
truly do.
That.
And it's been like riding a bike, but you never rode the bike, right? And you're having that out-of-body experience.
Yeah.
But no, this has been fantastic, and appreciate you and the network obviously giving us this opportunity to work together.
It's been great. We're in Winston-Salem, so I'm trying to be like Chris Paul. I'm trying to drop dimes to you on the wing.
I'm Tim Duncan. Come on, I'll go get it.
I'll go feed you down low. Let the big man eat. Tough throw and caught in traffic and breaking
Come on.
the tackle down to the 11-yard line. We continue to go deep on the depth chart. That is J.D. Campbell, another freshman. He's from Johns Creek, Georgia.
And I tell you what, watch the quarterback play here. He's patient, feeling a little bit of pressure, extends the play, and he says, let's go. Throws the bomb, a great catch, goes right over the top. Fantastic play.
Great experience for the backups
Absolutely.
in this game. I mean, you don't know how many opportunities. It's going to be conference only the rest of the way for Wake Forest. Not a whole lot of layups in that schedule, so these are a lot of guys that might not see a whole lot of reps the rest of the year. On first down, a quarterback keeper, and staying inbounds. Kern is wrapped down by Taiwan Rivens.
And you know, Mike, that was a veteran move. You know why?
Stayed inbounds?
Because he stayed inbounds.
Absolutely.
He's trying to get that clock just tick, tick, tick. Great heads-up play there by 15.
There's nobody that wants to see that final 5 and change go quicker than that man, Dave Clawson. Let's get out of here with the dub. No injuries, no setbacks. Get ready for the rest of the year. Trying to get to the edge. Foot race. Got it. Touchdown. Will Drawdy.
If you play running back on this roster, you're going to get a carry, and it's probably going to be a touchdown. But you saw the speed there from the junior from the upstate of Easley, South Carolina, getting to the edge, getting to the pylon. What a great play. Just to bounce it outside. Use that speed. Get in for the touchdown.
Great feeling for that young man. He only had 2 carries all year coming into this game.
And again, these are the guys that I'm talking about, that they buy their time. They're practicing so hard. They're giving you a great look on scout team. Now you get an opportunity to score a touchdown on national TV.
6-play, 80-yard drive, little more than 3 minutes off the clock. Somebody else getting in on the fun.
Come on, and he's getting in there for the touchdown. You gotta love it. Will Drawdy for the touchdown.
Every Saturday morning, it's the Huddle with Jordan Cornette, the soon-to-be famous Eric McLean, EJ Manuel, Mark Richt. Get ready for ACC football with the gang. They'll preview the slate of games to keep you updated on all things ACC football. That's tomorrow at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. As we welcome you back to ACC Network Football, presented by Dr. Pepper. He is EMAC, along with Lawrence Sisler on the sideline. Mike Morgan here in Winston-Salem. Wake Forest with a much-needed win. Couple of losses to start things off. One lopsided to the best team in college football. That'll be debated, of course, for the coming weeks. And also a heartbreak loss on the road against NC State, 45-42. You get that dub, they'll get a bye week, and then it's a home game against Virginia. In fact, back-to-back home games with Virginia and Virginia Tech, and that's when really the season will start to formulate for Wake Forest, just what kind of year we're looking at for the Demon Deacons.
And having the Commonwealth travel to Winston-Salem here again, 2 big tests, playing both Virginia schools back-to-back.
Third quarterback in the game now for Campbell. And he throws one wide of the mark. That's Jesse Fisk. Special thanks to our spotter, Eric Fiddleman, who always does great work. But when you're working a game like this and everybody's putting in freshmen that haven't seen the field, that's some extra duty. If anybody was up to the task, it is Eric Fiddleman.
Big E getting it done, helping us out. Been absolutely flawless. But Mike, again, when you talk about to the defensive coordinators and you say, hey, what was, 3 keys to the game? What do you want to see? Number 1 in all caps was stop the run. These guys are averaging 3 yards per rush as you see the ball's out. Mission accomplished.
It was Jackson on the carry. The fumble was recovered by one of the big offensive linemen. That's 56, Campbell Tarpey, who pounced on it.
See the running back here. I think the ground might have popped that one out there. I don't think they call that, but they retain possession.
Now 3rd down and 3. Burrowing his way to a 1st down. That's McDowell. Omaje McDowell, the freshman from Gastonia, North Carolina.
And when we talked to them about McDowell, they said he is our bruiser. He's a guy that we feel very confident about. Handing him the ball on short yardage and goal line, that he is going to get the line to gain, get that 1st down. 220 pounds. That's a load coming right at you.
5 in the pattern. And a drop on the near side by Kelsey.
And Mike, this is what I was talking about. Look at that sideline. These guys are jacked up, celebrating with their guys. Looked like a little bit of a drop. Maybe the DB got a hand in there, but those guys are excited about their brothers making plays, getting this opportunity. And really just to go back on Boogie Basham, I know he hasn't played in quite some time now, but I asked him on our call with him, why did you decide to come back? You were, a mock 1st round pick, the guys.
Game clock operator. Game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 3:40.
That's not what we want to hear, Ref. Come on.
We certainly would have missed those 18 seconds.
Game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 3:40.
Riley Johnson, our referee.
Tell him to reset the game clock to 3:40.
Well, Riley wasn't getting a whole lot of FaceTime or recognition. He'll get it on the restart.
This is it, my man. You deserve it. He's looking at, hey, play clock operator. Let's go, my man.
Let's do it.
He checked out. He went home for the night. He said, I thought I just had to hit go.
Oh, goodness. We're not quite in mid-season form.
Nobody, right?
Yeah,
game
exactly.
clock operator, please reset the game clock to 3:40. 3:40.
Hey, Riley's about to come up here, man. You better be careful.
We need to do an APB on the game clock operator.
Thank you.
There we are.
Thank you.
So going back to
that, what was that, like 5 minutes ago?
Yeah, it was a long time
ago.
We missed a lot of time there.
What's happened since then?
Just asked him, why'd you decide to come back? You could have went out and got a ton of money and, been playing on Sundays right now. And he said, I wanted to come back to play with the guys I came in with one last time. The relationships that I have built here, the friendships that I have built here are so much more important than some money to me. And I was blown away by that. It was just, guys, you have such a small window to monetize this sport and to play on Sundays that, he sees the bigger picture, that these guys, he'll be friends with these guys for life. And that's so much more valuable, in the long run. So really was taken aback by that from Boogie and just made him even more of one of my favorite players on defense.
I think some NFL scouts would appreciate that move as well. Another sack for that Wake Forest defense. Bunch of backups in there. We get to find out who number 51 is. That's Will Smart. He's a redshirt freshman. I go back to talking about Coach Clausen, great fit at Wake. Everything you're talking about encapsulates what I feel about this program. They got a great culture. And I know that term is used a lot, but it's not something to take for granted because there's a number of teams that don't have that. Without naming any names, there are a number, even traditionally great programs, that every now and then find themselves in a toxic situation. Nice kick. And a bounce out of bounds. No toxicity in the booth here. 66-14, Wake Forest.
Wake Forest takes over 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line.
Well, of course, we've got Friday Night Lights football here tonight, and tomorrow being Saturday, it's a whole slate of ACC action. NC State Pitt, Carolina, Boston College, Jacksonville State, Florida State, the Hokies and Duke, and of course the nightcap with Clemson and Virginia. The lock EMAC in the studio all day long, talking morning all the way to night. Now, I know you're looking forward to seeing the Clemson game, but is there another game that stands out to you on that slate?
I'll tell you what, there's 2 games outside of the Clemson game that I'm very, very interested in. Number one is just seeing North Carolina again. It's been 21 days since those guys have played football against another opponent. And just hearing from Mac Brown and those guys, to keep it light in practice. They did a scrimmage with some of the younger guys. Sam Howell, phenom quarterback, he was the offensive coordinator for the day, called plays. So really excited to see them. And then on the other end of the spectrum with Florida State, man, this is a dangerous game, and they're at a dangerous place right now. If you go out and lay an egg against Jacksonville State, it could be a big problem for that program.
Yeah, they need some good things to happen for the culture of that program in Tallahassee.
They need E.J. Manuel back at
Yes, they could definitely. There's a few programs that wouldn't mind having that luxury, that's for sure. Now, we're running out of factoids to throw at you, but with another first down here, it's safe to say I don't think we're going to see a Wake Forest punt. Think about this. They started playing football at Wake Forest in 1888. This is the 1,166th game. They've never had a game before without a punt. They are going to have, in all likelihood, their first game in program history without a punt.
And you know what? You and I were here to see it.
We were here to see the history.
Can you believe that? Whoever found that is amazing.
Very.
It looks like they're just
a lot of media guys.
It is. They went back a long way to find it.
That's some thorough research right there. They're looking at the 1895 Wake Forest pamphlet to make sure nobody punted. So Wake Forest with a convincing victory. No punts, but plenty of points. 66 of them, in fact. And a blowout win over Campbell, who will complete their season 0-4, but certainly plenty to be proud of for Mike Minter and company to build on for next year, next fall, when they'll resume football activities in the Big South Conference. Got a chance to play 4 FBS opponents and their first Power 5 opponent in school history. E-Mac, some final thoughts on what you saw tonight.
Yeah, the biggest thing for Wake Forest was just establishing that run. That's absolutely what they did. Kenneth Walker, Christian Bill Smith all night long. Walker, they're averaging 10 yards a carry. I mean, I can't just tell you how special that is. But just looking on the Campbell side, you've got to be encouraged with your team's fight. I know the scoreboard is nowhere near reflective of that. But you've got a great young team here, and it's going to be fun to see Coach Mike Minter and this team going into next fall.
I'll tell you what was fun to see. It was fun to watch a guy with his first game as an analyst blossom night. Great job, my friend.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate the opportunity and you carrying us to the finish line, man. It was great.
The pleasure was mine. Thanks to E-Mac, to Lauren Sisler on the sidelines, and our entire ACC network crew. For everybody, this is Mike Morgan saying so long from Winston-Salem. Wake Forest picks up their first win of the year.